Here's a quick review of the divisibility tests for the numbers 2 through 11. First, we say that if x is a factor of y, then x divides y, or that y is divisible by x. They're all different ways of saying the same thing. So for instance, 7 is a factor of 91. 7 times 13 is 91. So because 7 is a factor of 91, we say that 7 divides 91, or that 91 is divisible by 7. Now some of the tests are easy, some of the tests are not, so let's just plunge in. The divisibility tests for 5 and 10 are related to each other. In each case, we look at the units digit, or the rightmost digit of a number. And if the units digit is 5 or 0, then the number is divisible by 5. So let's take a look at this list. The first number on its list that's divisible by 5 is 270. And then the next one is 140, because those have 0 as the units digit. If we go down farther, we see 240, and we see 165. That has 5 as a units digit, so that's divisible by 5. And then 280, 2770, and then this big number. If the units digit is 0, then the number is divisible by 10, and we see 1, 2, that's 270, 140, 240, 280, 27,720, and then these two, this number those are all divisible by 10. 3, 6, and 9 are related because in each case you need to add up all the digits of the number. So let's take the number 252. If we add up the digits in 252, we have 2 plus 5 plus 2, that equals 9. Now, this is divisible by 3. 9 is divisible by 3, so 3 is a factor of 252. 9 is also divisible by 9, so 9 is a factor of 252. And since 252 is divisible by 3 and 252 is even, then 6 is also a factor. So this is a case where 3, 6, and 9 are all factors of 252. Let's take a look at another number. We'll take a look at 363. Right. So 3 plus 6 plus 3 equals 12. Now 12 is divisible by 3, but it's not divisible, and it is divisible by 6, but it's not divisible by 9. So 3 is a factor, 6 is a factor, 9 is not. Let's take a look at one more number. Let's take a look at 280. 280, we get 2 plus 8 plus 0 equals 10. Well, 10 is not divisible by 3, 6, or 9, so 280 is not divisible by 3, 6, or 9. Those are the divisibility tests for 3, 6, and 9. The divisibility tests for 2, 4, and 8 are all related. So first, if the number is even, it's divisible by 2. So we can go down and we look at the rightmost digit, the units digit, and we look for the even ones, and we can see that all of those are divisible by 2. So 363 is not an even number, so it's not divisible by 2. 165 is not divisible by 2, and this number 768,398,401 is not divisible by 2 because it's not even. The divisibility test by 4 is to look at the rightmost two digits. So for 252, we look at the 52. We look at 52. If 52 is divisible by 4, then 252 is divisible by 4. 52 is 4 times 13, so this is divisible by 4. Let's take 270. We look at 70. 70 is not divisible by 4, so 270 is not divisible by 4. The divisibility test for 8 is to take a look at the last 3 digits and see if they are divisible by 8. So for all of these 2 and 3 digit numbers, basically you just have to test those. But if we take a number like 27,720, all we have to do is look at the final 3 digits, 720, and see if that is divisible by 8. And since 720 is 72 times 10, and 72 is divisible by 8, 720 is divisible by 8, and therefore 27,720 is divisible by 8. If we take a look at 768,398,401, 401 is not divisible by 8, so that number is not divisible by 8. Next, we'll take a look at the divisibility test for 11. Now for 11, what we do is we'll take a number and let's do 363. So first, we'll start with the first digit of the number and add up every other digit. So that's this one, we skip this, and then this one. So that's 3 plus 3. Then, second, we'll start with the second digit and add up every other digit. So that would be just 6. So this is 6 and 6. And then we subtract these results from each other, and in this case get 0. And if the result of this subtraction, this result right here, is either 0 or it's a multiple of 11, then the number is divisible by 11. So 363 is divisible by 11. Let's pick another number from the list. Let's pick 176. Well, we'll start here. 1 plus 6. Then we'll start here. That's just a 7. And we subtract them, we get 0. So 176 is divisible by 11 as well. Let's try another. Let's take 528. There's 5 and 8, so 5 plus 8 is 13. And then there's just 2. 13 minus 2 is 11, so 528 is also divisible by 11. Let's take one last number, 280. So we add 2 plus 0, and that equals 2. And then there's the 8 in the middle. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Negative 6 is not divisible by 11, so this is not divisible by 11. Since these are smaller numbers, let's take some of the larger numbers and do this test as well so we can see how it works. Let's take 27,720. If we start here, we're going to add 2 plus 7 plus 0. That equals 9. And then, if we start here, we'll add 7 plus 2. That equals 9. The difference is 0. So this is divisible by 11. And let's take one more number. We'll take 768,398,401. So we'll start with the 7, and we're going to add 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 4 plus 1, 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 4 plus 1. And then we're going to add 6 plus 3 plus 8 plus 0. 13 and 50 is 28. This is 29. And this is 14 and 3 is 17. 17 from 19 is 12. So this is not divisible by 11. Okay. Let's now go on to the last test, divisibility test for 7. 7 is probably the most difficult divisibility test, and in most cases it's probably just easier to divide by 7 rather than go through the test. But since there is a test, let's discuss it and let's go through it. So let's take, again, the number 252. So what the test says is you cut off the units digit, double it, so times 2 equals 4, and then subtract it from the rest of the number. If you get a multiple of 7, then the number is divisible by 7. So 252 is divisible by 7. Let's take another number, and perhaps we'll get one that does not work. So let's take the number 176. So if we double the 6, we get, we'll cut off the 6. We'll double the 6 and get 12. We'll subtract the 12 from 17 and get 5. So 176 is not divisible by 7. Let's do one of the larger numbers. Let's do 27,720. And when we cut off the first 0 and subtract it, we're not going to change this number at all. So we'll just forget that and go on to 2772. If we cut off the 2 and we double it and get 4, subtract 4 from 277 and we get 273. Well, we're not quite sure whether this is divisible by 7 or not, so we can keep going. Let's cut off the 3, multiply it by 2 to get 6, subtract 6 from 27, we get 21, and that is divisible by 7, so 27,720 is divisible by 7. Let's take a real challenge. Let's see if 768,398,401 is actually divisible by 7. And let's go on to the next page because I think we're going to need a full page to do that. Okay, so I'll even get rid of this part, and let's go. So take let's do the first one. 768,398,400. Now we saw before that the zeros do not affect this, so we're just going to take the zeros off and not worry about those. And we'll start working with 768,398,400. So we'll cut off the 4, double it to 8, subtract 8, and we'll get 76,839, 0. We cut off the 0, and we'll subtract it, but that doesn't change the number, so we'll just start again with 76,839. We'll double 9 and get 18, subtract 18. This is 5, 6, 76, 65. Still can't tell, so let's cut off the 5. We'll double it and get 10. 5 times 2 equals 10. It's a mess, but that's okay. So we'll subtract 10, and we'll get 756. I still can't tell whether that's divisible by 7, so let's go one more step. Cut off the 6, multiply by 2 and get 12, and we'll subtract 12 from 75, and we'll get 63. And 63 equals 7 times 9, so this is divisible by 7. Therefore, 768,398,400 is divisible by 7.